Welcome, 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 welcome. You could hear my voice. You will see me in a second. I am Mo Schefter. We got Vic Jr. and Germ So True with us. Y'all know what it is. It's the Views crew. It's the usual suspect. We got the usual suspects in the Super Bowl. Views from the 22 pregame show. We got a good one in store for y'all today, man. We got to show a couple film. We're gonna break down a couple matchups. We're gonna go over some prop bets, and of course, we're gonna give y'all our predictions for Super Sunday. You see Germ So True right there dancing. I want that same energy all game long, all day long from everybody that's gonna be participating in anything Views does. We're gonna be on Snapchat, we're gonna be on Twitter, we're gonna be on Facebook, and we're kicking it off on YouTube. I'm bringing the guys right now, Mr. Dancing King himself. You can see him right there. Germ So True, say the greetings to the beautiful people.
What's up, y'all? Hey, man, true man, false world. Views from the 22. Let's take off.
Vic Jr.
Yes, sir. Views from the 22. Just again appreciating this opportunity, this platform to be with these two fine gentlemen, and just ready to go, man. This game is gonna be just intense. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we're gonna get started with the film. Does it Vic, do you have the YouTube broadcast on your phone?
I'm trying to get on it right now, boss.
Yeah, I'm about to do the same thing. Make sure we got people watching. Yep, here we are. We are live.
Right now, boss.
Yeah, I'm about to do. Okay. I gotta make the so one sec, folks, before we get it rolling. All right. So let's get started with the with some of the footage here. We're gonna start off with the Patriots coverage. We're gonna start off with some of the things that they did last week against the Chiefs, and some of the things that I think they can do this week in order to against this Rams. We talked about it earlier on the first pregame show, and I'm gonna let the fellas just dive into this real quick before I show the first play. But fellas, we talked about this on the pregame show. I mean, on the first matchup show. These two teams, being the Chiefs and the Patriots, I mean the Chiefs and the Rams, they're very similar offensively in some of the ways they can attack you. Particularly when you talk about Cooks, we talk about a quarterback with a big arm. I'm not sure why it's showing on the YouTube that my screen is not being shared. There we go. That should do it.
Ain't trying to see me the whole show.
What's that?
They ain't trying to see me the whole show.
No. I mean, no offense to you. I mean, you are a handsome man, but yeah. We got more beautiful things on display for y'all today. All right, let's not start with this now. Game Pass early on. Let's hope for something smooth. There we go. So on this first play, what you're gonna notice here, the main focus is Tyreek Hill. You see him right there, top of the screen. And this is New England. They doubled him all game long, and they weren't shy about it. The one other guy I want you to focus on is Devin McCourty. He's responsible for doubling Tyreek Hill, and you could see he goes right to him. I mean, he goes exactly where he needs to be, just not even giving him a chance. They're not being shy about it. They're not going to let him think he can do certain things. And this is just exactly what you want from him. And this is something when they're going to play against Brandon Cooks today. Brandon Cooks obviously is a former Patriot. But he is a very similar player to Tyreek Hill. In fact, I would say that Tyreek Hill is the bootleg version of Brandon Cooks. Just a little more high-speed internet comes with Tyreek Hill. On this next play, I want to highlight some of the different things that New England did in terms of their coverage and some of the blitz packages that they showed as well. See, they actually got a sack on this play. It's a 3rd and 9. And the one thing they're going to do right here is that they're going to show those linebackers like they're going to blitz. You don't know what they're going to do. Could be a 3-man rush. Could be a big-time blitz. It ends up being a blitz. They're playing man coverage underneath it. And you can see there's nowhere for Patrick Mahomes to go with this football. The pass rush of New England gets there. They clutter the pocket, and they're able to bring him down. But you could see there was really nowhere for Mahomes to throw the football. The coverage by New England throughout this football game, especially in the first half, was outstanding. You see the little stunt there with the linebackers. They did a few stunts in this game, and it was pivotal in this game as well. Next play I'm going to show, same thing, just to highlight the pocket clutter that Germ talked about this on the first matchup show, and we didn't get a chance to show this play from New England side of things. But this is one of the things that Germ was highlighting in the previous show about just forcing clutter in the pocket and making the quarterback uncomfortable at his feet. And a lot of these young quarterbacks, as talented as they are, as exciting as they are, their pocket ability, that is a term coined by Views from the 22, is not the best. And what we're going to show later on is a guy who's mastered the art of pocket ability. And you can see here Mahomes is still working on it. See how they crash down there. They just force a bunch of mess. And eventually they wrap him up and get it. And then we were talking about the stunts that New England did. And they showed it in a very critical part of this game. And it hit home in a very critical part of this game. Now, obviously, the Chiefs went on to score a touchdown on this play. But this is one of those things where this is a blitz I think we could see coming this week against Jared Goff. Because, again, same thing. Germ Tochu, are you still there, sir? Is the mic still on by you?
Yes, sir.
What did you call Jared Goff in the pocket?
He is a step to the right. He's a step up and a step to the right. Sam Bradford.
Of Sam Bradford. There you go. And same thing here. You're going to see from the end zone angle. The coverage, once again, is good. You could see McCourty as well. I want to highlight McCourty. There he is right there again. That is a big circle. You could see his coverage on Tyreek Hill, even though he's in the slot. This is the same route that Tyreek Hill is running right now. He actually beat him earlier in this game on this same route. But they were ready for it. You could see Devin, he's protecting it. He does get turned around. Maybe Mahomes could have made a throw. But the coverage the pressure in the end is what causes this play to be incomplete. And just maybe Mahomes didn't put it exactly where he wanted to put it. You see the stunt with Claiborne right there as he comes around. You see the stunt with Hightower. And again, it's just about creating clutter, creating traffic, and making them uncomfortable. Now, we were talking about pocket ability, and pocket ability is the ability to move in the pocket. And it's not about scrambling. It's not about coming out of the pocket. It's about the ability to move in the pocket and make something out of nothing. I'm actually going to stick to this game and show you a man who has mastered the art of pocket ability. And let's find it right here. This is an overtime. It's a 2nd and 10. Big part of this game, obviously. This play ends up going incomplete, but I want you to see is how Brady protects his football, how he steps up in the pocket, and how he lives to see another down. That's how he's made a career. He lives to see another down. He's not going to do anything extra, even though we've seen it a couple times this year uncharacteristically. Regardless, most crucial part of the game. And I'm going to run it from the end zone angle just to show you exactly what he does here. And this is a 41-year-old quarterback under center and doing these things, man. See Justin Houston, he's there. He steps up. Not only does he step up, what does he do, fellas?
He steps up and he protects the football first. After he does those things, then he resets his feet, as you see, and it looks natural when he resets his feet right there.
Bingo, bango, and nothing else for me to add. That's exactly what it is, and that's really important because these guys, Aaron Donald, Dante Fowler, and Ndamukong Suh, they're gonna be coming after him. They're gonna want to hit him. They're gonna want to take the ball from him, and really just highlights just how good he is in the pocket, how good he is at protecting the football. Vic, anything you want to add to this play?
No, I mean, you guys broke it down well. It's just you see how violent he's able to turn his hips and his shoulders around to keep that ball. 2 hands on the ball. That's just like that's textbook right there, bro.
It absolutely 100% is. Why did I lose this play? Okay, so we're going to move on to a play from the Jets game. 2 plays, really. And something we always talk about, fellas, when we talk about this quarterback position, true or false, there's levels to this. Would you not? Would you agree?
Absolutely.
And the one thing with Brady, what separates him is there are certain things that he understands about the position that other players just don't. And other players just don't display the way he displays it time and time and time again. This is week 17 versus the Jets. And this right here is really just world-class quarterback. And we're going to run it slow. We're going to run it fast, actually, and then bring it back. So what I want you to see here is this play goes to Edelman on a little dig route, in route, whichever one you want to call it. And it's off of play action. So first thing happens is the play action forces the linebacker to step up. Actually, that's Jamal Adams. That is a linebacker. It's Darren Lee. That forces him to crash down a little bit. And then what you could see that play, where this ball is going to end up at this moment, that linebacker is directly in line of where that throw is going to come. And you're going to see why when we flip it from the red zone angle, why all this space gets cleared out. Again, this is just a world-class play by a world-class player. There's a motion, there's a snap, there's a play action. I want you to keep an eye on what Brady does here with his hips as James White is coming out of that backfield right there. That hard little sell that he's going to go to him. Maybe you missed it. In case you missed it, we're going to run it back. Right there, that hard little sell that he makes like he's going to throw it. And then he's just, it's so natural. That forces the linebacker to just get out the way and make it for a nice, easy throw. And it is a perfect throw. And this right here, man, this is just the definition of a puppet master. I hate to say it that way. But, I mean, when you can manipulate a linebacker this much, that gives your offense a huge advantage. That gives your offensive coordinator a huge advantage at being comfortable to call so many different things because you know, even if 1 or 2 things doesn't work, one things that we talked about earlier amongst ourselves, fellas, is what we heard it this week for the first time, and that's post-snap adjustments. And I think this is one of those things that Danny Amendola was talking about and some of the things that he does that just makes him different. And this next play I'm going to show, this is the last thing on Brady. When I marked it down, when I timestamped this play, I simply just said goat shit. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, this is just absolute goat. We see things on film sometimes where we just chalk it up. And we say, well, the pressure was there and there was nothing the quarterback could do. This is one of the reasons why Germ's so true, sir. You talked about this. You said we don't watch Tom Brady during the season. Why is that?
Sets too much of a standard for the rest of the league for the majority part of it, for majority of the reason. It's hard to watch Tom Brady and then go to even Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers because the small, intricate details of the game of football, playing the position of quarterback, are mastered. And it's literally basically like you're watching all the little small, meticulous things that Brady does, and then you see why he's so accurate. And you see why he makes the plays that he makes and understands certain things. And you also see why the offense that he runs is so smooth, regardless of the moving pieces. So I think overall, when we see, just like you showed with the last play, the way he opened his hips to be able to get ready to throw the ball to James White, it forces teams see that type of stuff, and it just makes the offense even more explosive, even though it lacks explosion for the most part from the outside receivers. Because there's no way that you can really technically stop some of the things that they do based on the sheer ability of that guy, number 12.
Very well said. Very well said. And so here's this play from the red zone angle. We don't want to spend too much time on it. The defensive lineman here has him dead to rights. I mean, dead to rights. for a safety as well. And you could just see he's falling back. Again, pocketability. I see some of the people in the comments laughing at it. It is what it is. There's no other way to say it. That's a coined term by the use of the 22. See the way he steps up. And as he's falling back, he never loses the motion. He never loses his fundamentals. It stays compact. It stays tight. He stays with the hip movement and being able to generate force from his lower body. The throwing motion is exactly the same, even though he's getting hit and he's falling back. And the throw, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. And it wasn't at a speed. So it was slow enough where Hogan could sort of adjust to it. But regardless of it, the fact that he's able to get this ball off is truly remarkable.
But he's 41. Oh, sorry, I said that wrong.
All right, last piece of film here. We talked about some of the blitzes that New England could utilize, and you know, what's their name? The Saints just ran a bunch of different plays, a bunch of different blitzes all game long, really, on Jared Goff. All right, I don't know why I didn't write the quarter down. We're gonna figure this out.
Real quick, while you figuring that out, another thing that the Saints did in this game that didn't make any sense, to be completely honest with you, is they had a stretch where they called three consecutive slot blitzes.
Yes,
and that's where the cornerback came up, and the first time they got to Goff and they forced a bad throw. The second time they got another bad play. But the third time that they did it in this game, Goff figured it out, and he tipped his hand so early when he did it, and it just identified that he knew exactly what was coming. And they stayed in the same play, and they ended up converting a big 3rd and 10. So what I noticed more than anything is you can still trick Jared Goff. You can still get him on some of these blitzes from the edge, from the corner, from inside. The best thing for you to do is you just have to be able to disguise it. And I think that's where you were going, so I'm gonna let you go from there because I think you found what you was looking for.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, yeah, I did. But so here it is. This is exactly the blitz that Jerem was talking about. See, the linebacker comes, the DB comes, and most importantly, that's Cameron Jordan right there that just falls to the middle of the field there, that drops to the middle of the field. New England certainly has some pieces that could do that, be it Van Noy, be it Dante, be it John Simon, be it Trey Flowers, even though he's your best pass rusher. But regardless, it's all about disguising and just forcing the quarterback to read through certain things. And you could see when you watch it here from the end zone angle that Cameron Jordan actually ends up affecting this throw.
Mm-hmm.
And see, he doesn't have to do much. He just has to drop down to that zone, and he ends up really affecting this play. Next play here, Jared Goff. So, fellas, I think we can all agree on this. I think if you look at Super Bowl 49, there was some throws that Russell Wilson should have hit. I think if you look at Super Bowl 51, I think there's some plays that Matt Ryan should have hit. And I think if you look at Super Bowl 52, Nick Foles made every throw that he needed to make. and that really was the biggest difference in that game, is that Nick Foles was able to go toe-to-toe with 12. I mean, there's no other way to say it. We could talk about the defense and everything. At the end of the day, he still had to make the throws and execute the plays, and he certainly did that. This right here is a play that Jared Goff absolutely needs to hit. No excuses, no reason why. It's a dig route to Brandon Cooks. That ball should have been out long ago. Easy completion, really, if you think about it. He's got to hit this. Brandon Cooks creates the necessary separation. It's a timing route off of that play action. Right there, that ball needs to be out. There's the last step of Goff's drop back. There's the break-in on Brandon Cooks. This play is lined up perfectly. There's the crease right there to throw this football right over here. He's got a good throwing window. He's got to hit this ball. he can't hit this ball, he misses these throws, it's going to cost them, and it's going to cost them big because every play matters. Speaking of every play matters.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Absolutely, brother.
This is something else that I've seen all year. That route for the New England Patriots defensively has been open for every young quarterback. That's Mitchell Trubisky, Sam Darnold, Patrick Mahomes, in general. All those young quarterbacks have seen that specific play and that specific area of the field be open. If this is the game that we talk about intricate details, it's a one-game scenario. If we can't hit this throw, they're probably not going to win the game because New England has given up that play so much during the regular season to these young quarterbacks that there's absolutely zero excuse why this has not been a staple throw of something that they've been working on this week.
Right.
Go ahead, Mo. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that in there because that's really important.
Absolutely, brother. Again, there you see it right here, the throwing window that he has. And you're going to see Cooks coming into your picture. And that ball should have been out. That ball should have been out long ago. What's that, Vic?
As soon as he whips his head around, that's where that ball should have been out already.
Exactly.
And the proper term for that is anticipating. That's anticipating where the ball and the receiver should be at the same time simultaneously.
Right. As soon as that receiver plants his foot, he's taught to whip his head around and get ready for that throw because it's gonna most likely be on its way already.
Right. So, absolutely.
Real quick, Mo. We got 11. We had up to 11 viewers. We got 10 now. Shout out to AWAP, Ham, Blackstock, Germ, Zach. Shout out to all of y'all, man.
Man.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Appreciate you calling that out, Vic. This next play, and we're going to talk about this a little. We're going to talk about this just now. This is the last play of film, and it's going to be a good transition actually into our first segment. We are getting better, believe it or not. So what I want you to keep an eye on right here is Todd Gurley. This is an empty formation. This is going to be a crucial play. And although they don't make this play, they don't execute it, they need to try this play again because this is going to be huge if they hit this play. They end up running him on a zig route or a pivot route, whichever one you want to call it, and he's just got to catch it. This is a 3rd and 6. He's got to catch that. And I'm going to just say this, and we're going to get into this now. I can just run it one more time. You guys can see it. He's got to hit that. Absolutely got to hit that. No doubt about it. So the one thing we're going to talk about now, as we get what's happening, everybody, you see the no beef, no Lombardi. You see the trap in the background. The one thing we're going to get into right now is there's certain things that's missing from this Rams defense that can impact the way New England plays and the way New England matches up, and it actually favors New England. So, fellas, we're gonna get into the first segment of the show, and we are gonna call it, Germ, if you could flex your chest, you see it right there in the back. The trap. We talk about the running games a lot, how important it is. We've talked about it all year. We made posts that the most efficient running team will win in February. That's already come to fruition because certainly the two most efficient teams when it comes to running the football are playing in this game. With that being said, which running game is more important for this matchup? Germ, I'm going to start with you.
The most important running game for me, honestly, right now with this particular moment, I'm going to have to go with the Rams. Because if the Rams running game is moving, if we are getting very, very good push up front and those type of things, as we will get into the offensive line and things like that in the next segment or two here. But bigger picture, if Gurley has 100 yards, I don't think they've lost this year, or they've lost one game. That's a big thing because a lot of the games that we've seen, even with Gurley having yards, they've been from catches and from some from the running game and those type of things. So I think the Rams running game is more important. And CJ Anderson has been a godsend for that team. He has essentially stabilized the power running game. And that has allowed Gurley to have fresh legs going on into this week, which is the most important factor when it comes down to their running game because of all the things that McVay does with Gurley. That offense, just for the people who don't know, they are Todd Gurley, slot receiver, which will be Robert Woods and Josh Reynolds in this game, and out, and then they expand from those positions. They don't use the tight ends a lot, which we're going to see that as well. And the tight ends are not as good blocking, which is going to be a key for New England here. And that's just what I'll leave it at for right now.
I got you, Vic. Which running game is more important to you in this matchup?
Shout out real quick to Elton. He's on here. He's our resident Rams fan. Petty.
Yes, sir.
So this is a deep question, man, because when you think about the Patriots and their offensive scheme and system, the running back is a very important position. They have 3 running backs. They have a guy that can run the power scheme. They have guys that can catch out of the backfield. And then the Rams is also very important for them too, because again, they got the power type of scheme. They got the outside zone type of scheme that they like to use. And they got Gurley, who is a power back. And they also got CJ Anderson. So I think that the Rams is going to be important because, again, we got to shout out those 5 guys up front, right? The no beef, no Lombardi. We got to shout out those 5 because if those 5 guys are controlling the line of scrimmage, it's going to allow CJ Anderson, it's going to allow Todd Gurley to put in the work that they need to put in and hopefully keep Brady off the field for the Rams' sake, man, because those guys are going to have to put hat on hat, and not only put hat on hat, but they're going to have to maintain their blocks longer than they did against the Saints. They did a better job against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are more of a speed type of team as opposed to a physical team.
Yes.
The Patriots are going to be vice versa. It's going to be physical against physical, so it's going to be fun to watch, man. So I'll go with the Rams. I think, like Jerem said, they're gonna need those guys to hit not only Gurley over 100 yards, but the whole thing, the whole program, all 5 guys, both running backs around 200 yards in this game to control the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely. To me, I'm gonna also go with the Rams, and obviously New England's running backs. They do so many different things in the passing game, but I'm gonna say that the running game in particular for the Rams is more important because everything flows through their running game. Everything they want to do. When this offense looks the way it's supposed to look, it's because the running game is rolling and rumbling and moving the chains. For everything Vic highlighted with the offensive line, for everything Jerm highlighted with their record when Todd Gurley is running the rock, and CJ Anderson, certainly Jerm, great point by you, has definitely been a blessing to this team. And I saw on Twitter earlier that they are going to be splitting the load in this game. That's fine. I'm not against it as long as the running game doesn't get phased out. Because for New England, realistically, I understand he's 41. But if they can't run the ball, if New England doesn't run the ball, it's not do or die because they have that quarterback. That's just the reality of the situation. And I would argue that it could be a blessing in disguise if New England gets taken out of their running game because that'll allow Brady to just drop back constantly and hopefully tire out this pass rush as the game wears on. Now we're going to talk about some other things. Vic, I'm gonna start it with you. You got the shirt. Show the people. Film over feelings. There it is. That basically came from us talking to so many different people on social media, and they were always coming for our necks, be it us or the 94 Feet of Life crew. Shout out to our brother company. And that's where the hashtag came from. Is watch the film and take the emotions out of it because the film don't lie. Film over feelings. We've been labbing for this game for the past 2 weeks, Vic Jr. Film over feelings. What does it tell you? For New England, where is the biggest mismatch? New England's offense versus Rams defense.
I think the biggest mismatch is just going to be that offensive line against the defensive line in terms of the running game. I think that, again, like you said, if they're able to take away the running game for the Patriots, they still got Brady. But I don't think that just looking at that Rams front seven, man, I don't think they have enough beef, at least against the running game, to stop New England. I think New England should have a field day running the ball against this Rams front seven. So I think that's the biggest mismatch for the New England side.
Okay, Germ.
Yes, sir.
Same thing for New England side. Where do you think the biggest mismatch is?
Vic covered it. Just to add one more detail, I mean, because obviously the offensive line, the linebackers for the Rams in this particular matchup, I find out that they are a lot of times very, very lost. And what happens is they either run it into each other, or on top of them running into each other, they're always standing in rate and waiting. The saying I'm going to use is from "Don't Be a Menace." For all my comedy fans out there who love the Wayans brothers, hurry up and buy is what we're going to use. Is what I'm going to use. Why I say hurry up and buy here is because hurry up and make a decision. Read, react, finish. That right there in itself is the key to this game for the Rams defensively there, and that's what makes this a big mismatch for the New England Patriots. They're going to hit people in the mouth. That's what they're going to do for 60 minutes, and that's what we have to make sure that we focus on. But that's
To me, basically for New England, when it comes to the Patriots offense versus the Rams defense, I think the biggest mismatch favors the Rams in terms of speed. I think the Rams are a much faster defense than the Patriots offense. And as we've seen throughout the years, New England has had a hard time handling guys that are fast, that are in their face and playing that press man-to-man. I do believe Wade is going to mix it up. I do believe he's going to do those three-man rushes and drop 8 people into coverage. I do believe all those things will happen. But I think if you watch that Rams, I'm going to go back to that Falcons game, and I'm going to go back to that Eagles game. Even though I know Brady threw for 500 yards, different story. But let's stick to the Falcons. The Falcons defense, they weren't that skilled, but they had speed. And I think that speed is where the Rams can really take advantage. Just play man coverage, jam the receivers, and especially because you're going to be on turf, you're going to be moving faster. And I think that's where the biggest mismatch lies in the Patriots offense versus the Rams defense. Now, I'm going to toss it back to you, True. Where do you think the biggest mismatch lies in terms of Rams offense versus Patriots defense?
it's gonna be the offensive line once again. That offensive line has probably played the best as a 5-man unit in National Football League for a pretty good stretch in this particular year. It's no mystery that the best offensive line in pro football is again playing in the Super Bowl this year. Last 2 seasons, we got the Eagles, and this year we got the Rams. These 2 teams have been able to run the ball at will when they wanted to against majority of the teams. I mean, at the end of the day, if they can get hats on the New England players and they can allow C.J. Anderson and Ty Gurley to get into the second level and force Harmon and the McCourty brothers and all those guys to have to make tackles, we're going to see a lot of business decisions probably made this evening.
I like that one. Vic?
I kind of disagree with the business decisions. Being the New England players, man, I think they're gonna try to attack those guys, but it's gonna hurt. They're going against Whitworth and that left guard, Roger Saffold is gonna hurt. But yeah, I mean it's the same thing, man. Like Germ said, this year has been the Rams' offensive line. They had an outstanding showing against the Cowboys. Like I said, I said that before the game. I thought the Cowboys were not going to be able to match up well like they did against the Seahawks in their previous playoff game. The Rams struggled a little bit with the Saints in the championship, but they played well enough to win that game. So they're gonna have to do the same kind of thing this week against the Patriots, man. They're gonna have to really dominate that offensive line. I mean, that defensive line, that front seven for the Patriots to definitely just control this game, man, because it's gonna be a tough matchup.
Right. Okay. For me, I think where the biggest mismatch lies, obviously, yes, you guys talked about the Rams offensive line. I don't want to sound redundant. I'm going to go a different route, and I'm going to say 2 things for New England's defense favors them in this matchup. The first thing is the Rams don't have a tight end or a running back that's a real receiving threat. And that's huge because Chung is more than likely going to just lock that part down. They're going to be able to do different things with their front seven since they don't have too many guys to worry about when it comes to tight end, running back in the passing game. I think that's the first mismatch. And the second mismatch, yes, they have the offensive line. But overall, I think the Patriots defense is more physical than the Rams offense. And that's the one thing they pride themselves on is being physical. And Dante Hightower is that tone setter for this defense. And I think that's going to be huge. I hate to say this. I do like him. But I think Goff is going to have to prove that he's not soft in this game. Because these guys, they're going to clutter the pocket. They're going to punch him in the mouth. They're going to jam the receivers. So we're going to find out. Yes, Elton. You could already see Elton about to comment something. I called your QB soft. What you going to do about it?
I don't know where that came from. But,
you don't know where that came from?
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, Vic. What happened? Oh. What? Is something I missed again?
That's from Life. You never seen Life?
Man, come on, man.
Ham is here. You're going to be tagging me on some shit now. What are we talking about?
Yo, listen. Goals for the offseason, get Vic to see some damn movies.
Yeah. Bro, golly.
All right, so we got that part covered. I'm going to let y'all see this whole shirt. There you see it. No beef, no Lombardi. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Fix that right there. There we go.
Hey, yo, so check this out.
10, yo? Who's Contenders 10? Is that
Trav?
That's Trav.
Shout out to Trav, yo. Shout out to Trav.
Yes, sir.
Leave me alone.
So check this out real quick. Can I say something real quick here? Here's something else that I think I want to highlight here too as well. You said Patrick Chung and a light bulb went off in my head.
Okay.
We got Higbee and we have Everett. Right. Everett is a clear mismatch in certain situations when they line him up in line or in the Y position. Excuse me. That'll be what is that? That would be correct me if I'm wrong, Vic, the Y position. That he'd be lined up in line in the slot inside of, like, let's say Robert Woods. When they move him inside,
he's the Y because he's a tight end. So whether he's in line or off the line, he's the Y tight end.
Bingo. That's so okay. I'm saying the right thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I just want to listen. It's just views, baby. We just want to make sure we give you the right thing. But when he's lined up in that position and those type of things, they do a lot of things and try to cause a lot of confusion to try to get him open. And with his speed, with his natural ability to pick him up and put him down, that could cause some issues in this game if McVay features him in certain situations.
Yes.
I just don't think McVay features that tight end specifically enough for this offense to be able to be as explosive as they could be. I'll just say that.
I understand.
Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that in there.
That's a great point. And the only thing I want to add to that is I think regardless of what they decide to do, I think New England will be okay covering the tight ends because whether it be Chung or whether it be J.C. Jackson, as we saw, J.C. Jackson did a relatively good job on Travis Kelce last week, and it doesn't get much better in terms of route running and fluidity and versatility than Travis Kelce. So I understand what you're saying, and they're all valid points. And yes, when they do that, they have been able to generate some big plays. But I think New England is going to be able to neutralize. Now, again, this is going to be key. If they do end up doing that, Germ, and they take advantage of it the way you think they should, that's going to be huge because all of a sudden a big advantage. And New England doesn't have too many advantages in this game. They truly don't. And so if the Rams can neutralize or level the playing field of any of the advantages New England has, that's going to be huge in terms of the outcome of this game. Moving right along here to our last segment. What's that?
Go ahead. No, real quick, Trav, just to say this to you, not having Cooper Kupp, I said all year that I feared them not having Cooper Kupp because of a game like this. Because having Kupp gives them the ability to not only Kupp does so much for this team. They put him in the backfield at situations, and he's very, very for a small guy in stature, he is very physical in the run game. He's very physical in the run game. He's chipping defensive ends. He was doing a lot of stuff for this team. So not having Cup means a lot, and that's not even including his work that we know is spectacular in the slot. This
Right.
team, I have been on this team all year about that. But go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that in there.
Was that Vic? Go ahead, Vic.
I don't know. Did Jerm finish? I kind of lost it for a second.
Go ahead.
Because there's a specific play that I remember you guys we were watching on when we were preparing and stuff like that, where they like to do a lot of drags across the formation and then have them go like in a wheel route type of thing, go upfield. So it's like a drag upfield with a play action. So they'll have somebody on a jet sweep. They'll have him run a drag and then go up the field, and they'll try to run it with the kid that replacing him now. His name is drawing a blank right now. But it just seems like Cup is a lot smoother. It just seems like he's a lot smoother with it. He's a lot quicker. So he gets open a little bit quicker, enough for that Goff has a window to throw to and not see any pressure.
He's almost. I don't want to blow this too out of proportion because I don't want people to harp on my words. But he's very similar to Keenan Allen in that you don't see too many guys with this type of size be able to work the slot the way these guys are able to work the slot. And that's really, to me, as you know, I mean, the guys, those are very valid, crucial points. My only thing about it is, McVay, you got all these weapons. Cup should not be the reason y'all don't win this game.
Right.
I agree.
But in the same respect, in the words of Tony Romo, it doesn't catch up to you until it catches up to you. And if this is something they can't figure out a way to get some matchups and whatnot, it's gonna be crucial. So you see the shirt, no beef, no Lombardi. This started on a podcast that we did, one of the very first podcasts that we did 3 years ago. Germ, myself, and the great Myron Jenkins. Shout out to Myron Jenkins, founder of Ball U Academy. And 94 feet of life point guard and views from the 22 quarterback in emergency situations. He asked me about the Falcons, and I told him that I don't know if the Falcons have the right amount of beef. And so said, so done. The depth of their beef is ultimately what cost them that game. And the depth of the Eagles' beef is what was able for them to generate a pass rush in the fourth quarter. So no beef, no Lombardi. They don't get any of the glory, but they are the most important guys on this team. The offensive line, the defensive line. You got to have guys that can control the line of scrimmage. If you can't control the line of scrimmage, you're going to be put out of a lot of games because you can't dictate or do any of the things that you want to do. It's almost like you have this game plan against Mike Tyson, and then he hits you with a 5-6 combo in the first round. Now, all of a sudden, what you going to do? Same thing here. You gotta be able to control the line of scrimmage. No beef, no Lombardi. Fellas, I'm gonna start with you, Vic. This is your bread and butter. This is what you love the most. When it comes to the beef, I don't want to say who has the bigger mismatch, who has the advantage, because I feel like that's slightly obvious. What I want to know from you is, what do you think is the most crucial part for the Patriots offensive line versus this stellar and uber talented and freakishly talented Rams defensive line?
Yeah, so I mean, we got the matchups. We got Shaq Mason versus Aaron Donald, which about 90% of the time he'll probably be lined up over Shaq Mason's side. Then we got Ndamukong Suh against what would be Andrews, the center, and Joe Thuney, the left guard. Right? Is that the starting left guard for the Patriots? So those are the matchups we're gonna see. I think that those are gonna ultimately be the most important matchups. Real quick, we had a little discussion on views about snaps and depth and stuff like that, like you said. And I did a little bit of research, and Donald was number 6 and Suh was number 8 in the league in terms of defensive line on most snaps throughout the season. Wow. So they were 6th and 8th. So that basically means that they're gonna be playing all game long, bro. They're gonna be playing all game long. And unlike the Eagles last year, like you said, they had 8 guys that they can rotate, and that gave Brandon
Graham
that that last minute ability to be able to pass, to rush the passer on Shaq Mason. Shaq Mason, I mean, he's an All-Pro guard, man. That kid is an incredible talent. He gave up 3 sacks last year, and 2 of the sacks that he gave up was in the championship game, and then the 3rd sack was in that Super Bowl. The championship game, if everybody remembers correctly, and this is why the details are very important, he gave up a sack before that Tom Brady played to Amendola, in which they had to get a first down.
And it was 3rd and 18.
3rd and 19. So Brady was able to get him out of that situation. But the next sack that he ends up giving up, the 3rd sack of the season, ended up being against Brandon Graham. And as we can see, Brady could not handle the ball, and ultimately the Eagles were able to win that Super Bowl. So the same thing again. The scary part for me for the Rams is how many snaps Donald and Sue are gonna be playing, especially against how physical this offensive line is for the Patriots. They're gonna be hit hard. But if Donald is able to get Shaq in a situation where it's crunch time and he can try to beat him for a sack, that's gonna be very interesting for me to watch, because those are very small details nobody talks about. That's gonna be important to this game, man. And I guess that's it for that situation. I mean, because they played a lot of snaps, and by the way, Myles Garrett was number 1 in that list. Germ, he had like over 1,000 defensive snaps. So when you got guys like that, man, that you just cannot get them off the field. The depth, again, they've been Sue and Donald have looked really good so far throughout these playoffs. They looked very conditioned. They looked very healthy towards the end of the game. So if they can maintain that same energy from quarter 1 to quarter 4, that's going to be interesting if this game is close.
Hey, and the one thing here at Views from the 22, we sweat the details. Third breakdown there, Vic. Germ, I'm gonna ask you, do you want the same question, or do you want the Patriots question?
You can give me the same question. No, ask me a different question. Okay. I'm gonna add one thing to what Vic said, which is really intriguing.
I got you.
New England has one ability that makes them different. They have a quarterback who knows his scheme in and out. They will run no huddle faster than any team in the NFL and efficiently and effectively wear Donald and Sue out. If they do that, all bets are off. Period. It's nothing you can do when 12 gets to going at hyperspeed and he kicks it into Guardian of the Galaxy style on these folks. He becomes Thanos.
Yes.
That's the equivalent of him having he now has the time stone.
Yeah.
So go ahead. What's the question, bro? I'm ready.
No, I mean, I'm glad you added to Vic. Is there anything else you want to add in terms of the Patriots offense versus the Rams defensive line, or was that it?
No, that's it right there.
Okay, I got you. I just want to make sure. So let's move on now. In terms of the Patriots defensive line versus the Rams offensive line, how do you think the Patriots can generate pressure and be able to take advantage of some things? And if there's anything the Patriots can take advantage of?
Okay, I like this part. This is fun. All right, so look. First thing is they do a lot of things with as we talked about even before the show, and we've been talking about throughout the postseason. They do a hell of a job, and I'm not going to say excellent, a hell of a job of taking those immobile players and people who can't move great laterally, and they allow them to move forward in a straight line in a certain direction in which they can do a very good job. And that's Kyle Van Noy, and we got Landon Roberts. Those 2 players in particular, Landon Roberts. You just want him hitting people. That's what you want him to do.
Yes.
As long as they're able to allow him to be that, he'll be fine there. Van Noy does a hell of a job with his blitzing. The timing is very good. If he has to do any type of slant when he coming down on the blitz, any type of twist motions, anything that it is that they do with this kid, it seems to work when he's blitzing. Yes. And if he doesn't get there, he brings clutter. He takes an extra player. That's stellar work there.
Yes.
But the key to this game, and this game will always be about buckets. And I say buckets meaning putting the quarterback on his bucket. And Mr. Trey Flowers, number 98 himself, what he's going to be able to do in this game, from what I've seen, and this is something that we see with all offensive lines struggle with quickness. His quickness is a tier 5 quickness, tier 5 being the highest tier. If it's anything that this kid can do, he can get in gaps and he can get there quickly. You can line him up from the zero all the way to the 5 to the 7 to the 9, wherever you want, and you can even put him in situations where he comes and stands up and covers a back out of the backfield, in which I've seen him do very, very sufficiently. So that being said, man, I have to say Trey Flowers is going to be the guy I'm watching in this game. That guy and where Bill lines him up is going to be crucial, because if he gets going and he gets in these gaps and he forces commotion, he forces all of those different things, guess what's going to happen? Now here come, we got a big old convoy, ain't that a beautiful sight? And that's what's going to happen, and we're going to get our Optimus Prime Autobots in pursuit. So that being said, I'm going to pass it on, y'all. Just had to get that out.
No, and Vic, anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, we're gonna see a little bit of a difference between the Patriots and the Rams. I gotta give a shout out to Bill. You guys know how I feel about Bill. Brady to me is number one on their success, but Bill always has this team well coached. The defense very well coached. Even though at times it doesn't seem like they have the best personnel like he could possibly have, they are well coached, and you will not see any hesitation. This front seven uses a lot of stunts. They use a lot of different tricks that they use. But the players have like perfect timing to attack either the running back on some run blitzes or the quarterback. So unlike the Rams, who always seem to be scattering around, always seem to be out of position, the Patriots defense will be in position to make plays. So that's going to be also important for this game if the Rams are not able to control that front seven.
Facts. I think for me, we talked about this before slightly. The biggest thing that I want to see from New England is because of their ability. Vic talked about how he always has them in the right position and well coached and yada yada yada. Like that was all great. There's an exception to every rule, and that exception came 1 year ago in last year's Super Bowl. The one thing we felt, we didn't even talk about the perimeter because we felt like New England secondary definitely has the advantage against the Rams receivers. This year, I don't think anybody's going to get benched. I don't think anybody's going to be out of place. I think Gilmore is going to be on Woods, as he should have been on Alshon from snap one. I think they're going to double Cooks. I think that they're not going to have Chung trying to cover slot receivers left and right. It's going to be a little different, and I think the ability for New England to match up in the secondary one-on-one to the face is going to allow New England to send those different blitzes and those stunts and those pressures. And really, that's the only way I see New England being able to get to Goff is with those stunts and those pressures. I do not think New England has the ability to just rush four guys straight up and generate pressure. And I see Vic shaking his head vehemently agreeing with me. So that's how I know I'm on the right track.
That's why, like I said, those stunts are important.
Yes.
Using the linebackers to time the snap counts and to time the run blitzes are going to be important. They're going to need that fifth guy to and they're well coached in that situation. So
right,
the Rams offensive line against the Patriots defensive line man to man is going to be always Rams on that part of the game.
All right. So we're going to get into the rapid fire now. The last 5 minutes of the show, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to move into some rapid fire segments. Let's start first of all with some of the different little props that these bets have with the Super Bowl. There's a bunch of prop bets. First one, Vic, again, rapid fire. Who do you think is going to be the first player to score a touchdown in today's game?
Give me my guy, my number one ranked running back from the 2018 draft, Sony Michel.
All right, Germ.
James, give me Devlin. He didn't get no love last week. Full back in the house. Let's go.
How much money we putting on this?
No, this ain't no money on it. I'm gonna go with Josh Reynolds as the first person to score a touchdown in this game. I don't know why. That's just the first name that came to mind. How long will it take for Gladys Knight to sing the national anthem? Over under 1:50, Vic?
What the hell? You got me with this one. We didn't talk about this.
Oh, but ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't no analysis. Ain't no detail. Ain't no film we gotta watch. What, you want to pull up Gladys Knight YouTube videos?
Oh, yeah.
Do that, Vic.
149. Give me 149.
Hey, man, give me 3 minutes, man. Give me 3 minutes, Chief.
Damn.
Damn. I don't think. I mean, all right. Will Bill Belichick be referred to as a genius? Yes or no, Germ?
Oh God.
Man, he's gonna be referred to as the genius, as the GOAT, everything.
Vic, will Tom Brady? What is it? What is this? Where did it go? Will Tom Brady be seen cursing during the broadcast?
If it says Tom Brady, I would just say yes.
Will we have a streaker in this game?
Oh shit.
Nah.
All right. Last couple things. What color Gatorade will be poured on the game-winning coach? Clear, yellow, blue, orange, red, green, purple. Vic?
Yellow.
Germ?
Man, red, because they in Atlanta and the seats is red.
Okay, this
Wait. Let me go film study what kind of Gatorade the Patriots like. There's a lot of film on that.
All right. Last little ones. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Will Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, or Rob Gronkowski retire before Week 1, 2019?
Rob Gronkowski will if they win the game.
Okay, Vic.
Yeah, I'll go with Rob Gronkowski. Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Dog Vines? Anybody know who Dog Vines?
I have to be on a boat by 3. Can I drop my son off at 2 tomorrow?
Okay.
Wait, what?
Welcome to the show.
Yes. Welcome to sir.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
All right, here we go. Prediction time, the moment you've all been waiting for. Before we get into that, one last thing. A player not named Gronkowski, not named Cooks, Woods, Sue, Donald, Talib, Peters, none of those guys. Germ, give me one X factor real quick from each team.
Wow.
One X factor from each team. I'm
Yeah.
going give me Trey Flowers from New England, and then give me God damn, I hate the Rams defense. Give me
Littleton.
No, I don't want Littleton. Give me Mark Barron.
I got you. Nick?
I was gonna say Mark, yo.
Don't matter.
Right,
Give me for the Patriots.
Give me for the Patriots, give me Shaq Mason. And for the Rams, give me the safety. The
LaMarcus Joyner.
LaMarcus Joyner.
Okay. For the Rams, I'm gonna go with Josh Reynolds. I think he's gonna, if he has a big game, that's huge. And for the Patriots, he mentioned Dante Hightower. I'm gonna go. You know what? It's gonna be a little weird one. I'm gonna go with Malcolm Brown. I know it sounds weird, but I think if he has a big game and if his name is mentioned a lot, that's gonna be crucial in this game in terms of the efficiency of the Rams run game. All right, y'all. Here it is. It's been a great season with all of y'all. This is the last one of the show of the year. We will be live on Facebook directly after the game. We may even go live during the Super Bowl at halftime. Prediction time, over under is 56. The Rams are 2-point underdogs. Germ, I'm going to start with you. Who are you taking to win Super Bowl 53?
Give me the Patriots.
All right.
I don't bet against Tom Brady.
All right.
Patriot, I'm not doing it. Last year, betting against Tom Brady probably made some people some money. But do you realize that every Super Bowl this man has played in, he's still had an opportunity to win the game, had it been for one or two plays?
Yes.
And that is the key here. He's not going to make this game any more complex than it needs to be. Patriots 35, Rams 20.
Vic?
Real quick, shout out to whoever R. Carl 14 is. He's got some X factors. CJ Anderson,
Okay.
He said the Twins for the Patriots. Shout out to you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Dog Vine said he likes your trap shirt. Good looking
Thank you,
out.
sir.
Thank you, Dog
sir.
Rhymes.
So we got to give the people a shout out, man. Supporting the
And that's
new.
that's Ronnie right there. That's Ronnie that you was talking to. That's Mr. Carl.
Okay, that's big shot.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Vic. Prediction time, baby. Who you got?
So, yeah, the reason why I choose LaMarcus Joyner, bro, real quick as an X factor is he's gonna be important if they use him in any robber situations, or even in the deep half. If they let Philip Dorsett get over the top, that's gonna be important. I see somebody went black man. Are we good still here? Are we still live?
You good? You good?
All right. But listen. I just feel like the Patriots are gonna be able to control that Rams defense too much. I feel like defensively, the Patriots are gonna be able to make some crucial plays. And I honestly don't think this game is gonna be necessarily close. I am more than happy to be eating my words if I have to at the end of the game. If the Rams win or if the Rams even make it a game, it's going to be shout out to them. But I honestly see a score where the Patriots will win 41-27.
Damn. I would be surprised if this game is a blowout on either end. I think both of these teams are relatively good. Obviously, they're in the Super Bowl. So they are the Rams. They've been number one on our power rankings all year long. I think deservedly so. Look, you never bet against Tom Brady. And he is the GOAT, win or lose tonight. As we said a couple years ago, there's nothing he can do to be removed from that throne unless he goes out and he just has a shit of a game. But even then, it is what it is. He's past that threshold age for criticism. He's 41 years old. He's had a great career. I do hope he pulls this off. As you saw the Brady shirt earlier, I am a Patriots fan, but we got to go with the film. We got to be objective with this. We got to call it like it is. I'm picking the Rams to win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to say I don't know who's going to be the MVP. I really, truly don't. It wouldn't be surprising if he does win the MVP. I doubt it's probably going to be either C.J. Anderson or Aaron Donald or Aqib Talib even. But I'm picking the Rams to win this game 28-24 Rams.
Ooh. Holy shit.
Vic, we both left this cat by itself on the broadcast for about 30 seconds. I had to make sure that my Wi-Fi was working. I was looking at,
man.
Remember, we both picked the Chargers to win that game, bro.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Hey, I like it. I
don't.
With that being said, y'all, appreciate y'all tuning in. We went 5 minutes into overtime. Views_22 on Instagram, Views22 on Twitter, Views from the 22 on Facebook, both the community page and the group. Join the group as the thread will go up a little after 6 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you do all that. Check out the website. Check out the store, viewsfrom the22.com/online store. There's a lot of great things in there. We got the shirts, no beef, no Lombardi. We got Vic with the film over feelings. We got Germ with the trap. You see the other one, the trap, in there with the blocking assignments as the letters of the T, the R, the A, and the P.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Beautiful. Shout out to Rachel Haywood and HVD Studios for hooking up these T-shirts. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Shout out to everybody who's going to watch this. Shout out to Football Nation in general. We got a great matchup. It's going to be a great 60-minute game, hopefully even longer if we're lucky. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the commercials. Enjoy the feuds. Enjoy the foods. 94 Feet of Life coming up soon on YouTube.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Shout out to our brothers. Germ, as always, baby, take us home.
2-2.
Yes, sir.